Hello everyone, welcome to today's class. This is class 4 of our social media class, and I believe that we are making progress, and I also believe that most of us have already done with our assignment for last week, and so you have a clear picture of what you're going to focus on your social media platforms, what content you're going to focus on. So even as we focus on today's class, and I expect you to have already worked on your content calendar. So if you have not yet submitted your assignment for last week, please make sure that you submit it ASAP. So today's class, we are majorly going to focus on visual content creation for social media. And first of all, what do you understand by visual when we say visual content creation? Visual content majorly includes images, graphics, photos, and designs that communicate a message. And the importance of this is that it captures attention in crowded social feeds. And then it reinforces your message and brand identity, and it helps viewers remember your content and engage with it. Remember, most people like things that catch their eye because the eye is always looking. What keeps people stuck on social media is the visual content, those videos, those reels, those photos, those infographics. They keep their eyes stuck on the platform. So what are some of the types of visual content? Well, we have static posts. This can be like either photo, a quote, or an infographic, like you just post a quote. That one is static, And then we have motion graphics and animated posts. Now, with motion graphics, like there is some motion in it, okay? And if you look at those animated posts, maybe you've put yourself in cartoon form and you're talking, or an act is happening in an animated or cartoon form. So those are motion graphics and animated posts. And then we have branded templates for consistent messaging. So you find that some people use these, like the particular templates, where when you put something, you can just scroll to the next. It's the same design, just different information on it, and it's all branded. So you find that for purposes of consistency, people do use that. So those are some of the types of visual content. So how then can we create eye-catching graphics using Canva or other tools? Some of you could have already done the Canva training, the previous cohort, but maybe you are here today and you're hearing Canva for the first time, or you've heard of it, but you're yet to know how to engage on it. So Canva majorly is a design app. It's full of graphic templates, and it has free templates for social media posts, for banners, for stories, and more. And it's user friendly. All you need to do is to drag and drop whatever you want to use. So it's really user friendly, and it provides elements like icons, shapes, images, text, and filters. So there is a lot you can actually do with Canva. So for some steps for you to create a graphic design in Canva, well, you'll have to first choose a template or custom dimensions of what you want to post. Is it an Instagram post, which is like 10 by 10 pixels, or for an Instagram story, or even your WhatsApp status, which is 1080 by 1920 pixels. So those templates do have dimensions or sizes on them, okay? And then you need to add a background, solid color, gradient, or image, Now here you're literally starting from scratch, okay? You're not designing like using a template. You're starting from scratch, meaning you're getting a plain template and you're choosing the size you want to use. Then you have to have color, you have to have gradient images, you have to insert text, you have to use elements and icons, you have to adjust alignment and spacing, you have to use elements and icons, you have to preview your design, and then once you are done, you can export it. So whether it is a photo or it's a video animation, you can do that. So I'm going to leave you a link of the video in the description that shows you a scratch how to design Canva designs from scratch. I'm going to leave it in the description so that you can take time to watch that and learn and come up with something and do something. Okay. Other tools or other applications you can use is Adobe Express, Pixel, Crello, or Photoshop. But these ones majorly work a lot for advanced users. Yeah, so Canva I know will work best for you guys. So we have photography basics for social media. Okay. Remember, we're still talking about visual content for your social media platforms. So when it comes to photography, what's the importance of good photos? First of all, high quality photos increase credibility and engagement. The reason why you see some of these celebrities go to studios, have photo shoots, all they are doing photo shoots for is for their social media platforms. And that's how they are growing their, their visibility, because people like nice pics, especially on Instagram. People like nice pics. Like most people, when they see photos, they are taken away. Like there's way photos attract people's attention. So it's important that you do have a plan for your photos. Don't just go post for us low quality photos that are just there. So go to the studio. If it means you need to go to the studio to take photos, go to the studio, take photos. Or if it means you need to hire a photographer, to do a photo shoot for you, please hire a photographer, let them edit your pics and use them. Meaning you'll have to be intentional in the kind of photos you're taking. Let's say, for example, as you are in this class, you're not just looking at a personal brand, but you're looking at your business. Your business should have good photos. Maybe your business is into cosmetics. Don't just you can still use your phone to take nice pics, but once in a while, invest in a professional photographer who can take your pics, nice pics, nice pics, either your team in a branded uniform, or they come on ground, you're having an event, take photos and be intentional, meaning you also have to have a plan for those photos. Because if you have a plan, that means you can just hire a photographer that one day take all the pics that you plan to have. If it means people have to change their costumes and attires, you can do that. But it's important for you. Remember, photos can tell your story visually without relying solely on text. So people can just see the communication in the photo without them necessarily having to read what you have attached. So it's important that you have plans for your photography. When it comes to photography, some of the key things that you need to look out for is lighting. Some of these things, I explained them in the video class, especially aspect of lighting. Lighting works both on videos and photos. It's important that if you're taking your own pics, let me say, now this applies especially if you're taking your own pics. If you're hiring a professional photographer, they should be having this in mind, aspect of lighting. Now, if you do not have external lights, you may have to maximize natural light when possible. And then you have to avoid harsh overhead lighting or backlight that creates shadows. I explained this in the video class. Okay, and then composition is very important. How do you fit someone in the frame as you're taking? Are you putting them at the corner of your frame? Are you putting them at the top and below? They should be balanced. You should observe the rule of thirds, place subjects along grid lines or intersections. And then you need to fill the frame without clutter, meaning avoid unnecessary things. When you're taking photos, the background of your photos is important. Either use plain backgrounds, but don't use backgrounds that have interesting things. You're in your house, you're taking photos, the background showing the bed, then there is there are very many things behind you. Try to avoid clutter. Okay, and then still under photography, you need to look at the focus and clarity. Ensure that the main subject is in focus. Okay, when you're taking the pics, let the people be in focus. Let them not, don't just take and the photo is blurred, something is not okay, they are out of focus. Being in focus means like the subject is clear, they can be clearly seen. And then if you're using a professional camera, you could consider using a tripod or stabilizer for steady shots. So some of those things you need to take note of them. And then the backgrounds, as I said earlier, it's important for you to keep your backgrounds clean and relevant and avoid distractions. And still, now, all those points I've shared majorly work for someone who is using a professional camera, much as some of them, a person who is using their mobile phone can watch out for them. But a person using a professional camera may need to really be keen on that. So with your mobile phone, you may need to use portrait mode for depth. Yeah. Then you may need to use exposure and focus adjustments. Or if your phone majorly has those settings in its phone, if your phone has those settings in it, you need to work on the exposure and focus adjustments. Then you need to take multiple shots to select the best one. Don't just take one shot. What if that one has not come out? So take many so that you can select among those what can you use. And then we have talked about the aspect of the graphics using Canva. I've talked about photography. Now the other thing is using colors, fonts, and layouts to communicate your message. Now, most of these things, I've shared them already in the Canva class, the video class, the blogging class, okay? Yeah, so with colors majorly evoke emotions and they convey messages. Now, like, for example, blue stands for like calm and trustworthy. And then red, energy, urgency, Then green, growth, nature, and hope. So you find that people who are into business usually may use more of green because green communicates the aspect of financial growth, okay? Ministries, you'll find that they focus more on blue or royal purple, something of that sort. So it's important for you to use a consistent color palette, aligned with your brand, meaning you have to have a brand. I talked about personal branding in the previous class. So it's important for you to have a personal brand because your colors, the fonts, how you communicate is all part of your brand. So I would encourage us to create time and watch the Canva videos on the channel and the video class videos on the channel so that you are acquainted with the visual aspect of content for your social media platforms. So still about the fonts and the typography, I've told you about colors. Then when it comes to fonts and typography, it's important that you choose readable fonts for your social media platforms, and you can combine 1 or 2 font styles maximum. So maximum you can use 2 fonts. Yeah, for example, I like Merriweather and Poppins. That's what I use. So use at least maximum of 2 fonts, not more than 2, either 1 or 2. Then use bold or italic to highlight keywords. If you have keywords, you either put them in italic or you put them in bold. Okay. Then when it comes to your layout and composition, you need to keep the spacing balanced, align the text and visuals for readability, and then also maintain hierarchy. For example, you have a heading, you have a subheading, you have a body, those who did GP or composition writing, or you have to put paragraphs, you have to put a heading. If you have points, you have to put bullets. So all those are things to consider. Then use grids or frames to organize your elements. When you're putting things together, the frames help you to know that, okay, my things are well composed or they're in the right layout. So it's important that you use grids or frames. And then, how then can we design consistent branding? So under consistent branding, your brand elements that you need to be maintained across all your platforms. The logo, you should include your logo in posts or corner watermark for recognition. I'm sure you've seen some photos of NTV and you see that NTV logo, or you've seen some photos, maybe you are SB or different companies and you see the logo. So it's important that in your posts, the logo appears, whether it's the videos or the photos, the graphics, the logo should be able to appear. And then the watermarks, you should protect your content and increase brand visibility. A watermark is like, you see, actually those who did Microsoft Word, there's one of the things that will tell you to create a watermark, in Microsoft Word. So a watermark is like when you put something and then you reduce its opacity, but it remains constant from beginning to the end. I've usually seen people now, like the stock guys, iStock, when you want to download some photos from the internet, you find that they have put their watermarks on it, so you can't literally use it. So when you put watermarks is more like people putting it's more like copyright, yeah? You're not being given access to use that content. So take advantage of the watermarks. And then we have templates. They are reusable layouts for quotes, devotionals, and announcements. So these templates, you can get them on Canva, where you're not overchanging templates. When people see, they will know that, this is maybe Worship Harvest. This is this team, or this is this group. So your templates should be consistent, just like the watermark, just like the logo. These are things that should really be consistent across your content. And then we have color palettes and fonts. These ones already I've talked about them. You should have consistency across all your platforms. If your color is purple, it should be consistent across. We should be seeing the purple across all your, your platforms and across your content. Meaning even in your thumbnails, if you're using YouTube, these colors, your brand colors have to show up. Your fonts have to show up. So consistency is very key. And then what are some tips you need to consider for branding? It's important that you stick to 2 or 3 main colors. I told you can use either one font or 2 fonts. Now, when it comes to colors, either use 2 or 3 maximum. So don't go beyond 3. So you can choose your 3 main colors, okay? And then use the same font styles in all your graphics. These are just tips for you to take note of. So stick to 2 to 3 main colors. Use the same font styles in all graphics. For example, I told you I like using pop-ins, and that's what you're seeing on the screen here. So you need to place your logos or watermarks in a consistent position. So let your watermarks cut across, okay? And be if you're using a corner, let it be that corner all through. If you're using the middle of the frame, let it be there, okay? Then develop a look and feel for all posts to make your page cohesive. So the feeling should really be nice. The quality of your content, the visual appearance of it should really be excellent. And then we are going to you're going to practically design one branded social media post using Canva. That's why I said it's important that you take time, watch the videos on Canva, on the playlist on our YouTube channel, and then now go ahead and design for yourself a logo, okay, a watermark that you'll be using, and then define the consistent colors that you're going to use. Remember, okay, so the assignment you're going to design one branded social media post using Canva. So whether you want to do a quote or you want to do a flyer, that's your choice. So you're going to do one branded social media post, because I expect us on our calendars for the month you have already put the kind of post you want to do. So you're going to do a branded social media post. Then you will include your logo, okay, or the watermark. Then you will have your colors and your brand font in use. And then let your message be clear. Whether it's a scripture, let it be clear and have a clean layout, okay? It's important for you to take note of that. And so that is one of the things you're going to do. Then secondly, you'll create. Now this is just for practice. What I've told you is just for your practice. So the assignment is you'll create 3 branded graphics or posts ready for publishing. What you're going to post on your platforms, you'll design 3 of them or create 3 of them. Graphics, okay, using Canva. So each post should be able to reflect your consistent branding, the colors and the fonts and your logo. So each design should have the color, the font and logo. And then the visuals, let your visuals be really engaging. Choose pictures that are engaging. Use pictures that are clear. Let your message be an uplifting message for your audience. So let it be the message that your audience really would want to consume, okay? And then you submit your assignment in PNG or JPEG images. So if you do the Canva classes, it will be easy for you to do this assignment. So the classes are already available, and it's important that you create time and go through them and then work on this assignment. I am excited on what you are going to create and what you're going to be posting on your platforms. Otherwise, that is it for today's class. So immediately after this class, since we are not using 1 full hour, I need you to create time, and before you do anything else, create time and attend to the assignment. Do the assignment. It will really help you on moving faster. Otherwise, if you've not subscribed to the channel, subscribe, like the video, and always, every single time you attend a class, put a comment in the comment section below so that we know who exactly has attended the class, and then you can share the link with your friends, your brothers and sisters to subscribe to the platform. Otherwise, have a beautiful week. See you again in the next class.